What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. And Sony just came out, at least in Europe today, they announced that they're coming out with the only on PlayStation collection. And this kind of brought up a situation that I wanted to talk about. Been meaning to talk about this for a while, and well, Sony just gave me an excuse to do so. So let's talk about the only on PlayStation collection. JT. Only on PlayStation collection includes 10 games from Sony from the European Union that are basically classic games that most people who have a PlayStation and enjoy video games own. But this is basically a re-release with a very slick slipcover that goes over the game, and I'll be honest, it looks fantastic. I love the art style. It's beautiful. It's amazing. It's everything a collector would want in a game that they love. And that is kind of the problem. We're going to talk about this in a little bit further detail, but before I get there, let's go through what this actually entails. There you see all the games listed right there and the pictures of them. Hand-picked selection of outstanding exclusive games that define a generation. And you're not going to find much of an argument out of me for any of these games listed here. They are all fantastic classics. But as you go further and look at the video, you'll see that these are games that have already released. This is the promo video for it, and you see the artwork done. It's fantastic. It's magnificent. It's some of the most beautiful artwork you'll ever see on a video game cover, for sure. Not taking anything away from it. It's beautiful. All the memories of Last of Us, God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, Shadow of Colossus, Last Guardian, Wipeout. Amazing. Amazing stuff. Not gonna argue about the quality of the games here. PlayStation proudly presents 10 of the most acclaimed and celebrated games that are only on PlayStation. These signature titles feature new interpretations of their iconic artwork as collectible sleeves and are available now from Game, which is a European video game store for those of you not familiar. And here you can buy them individually to complete your collection of all 10 of these games. Characters that stay with us, worlds that we can't bear to leave, moments that take our breaths away. These are the stories that make us the players we are, only on PlayStation. And there you go, the only on PlayStation, except this promo has Days Gone, Ghost of Tsushima, has Last of Us Part 2, games that are not part of the collection listed up here, which is interesting. Because it says at the top here, only on PlayStation, 10 of the most acclaimed celebrated games. But then right below that, they show only on PlayStation with a few more games that are not part of that 10, which makes me wonder if they'll be expanding this collection. It might be like a trial run. If these sell well enough, then they'll continue with making more of them and completing an entire collection of only on PlayStation, which is fantastic for collectors. And some of you who know me probably can already tell that I'm taking a little bit of a negative tone to this, and that's because I feel like this is exploiting collectors in a weird way. Like, as a game collector myself, I have a lot of video games, but the reason why I collect the game is because of the memories they give me, the hype I've had going into the release, everything that about the game when I got it in my hand, opening it up, putting it in the system for the first time. All those things are just with the core game itself. And when a company, even a big one like Sony, partners with Game to make an exclusive lineup of collector's editions, or in this case, the only on PlayStation collection of signature titles, it just feels like a marketing ploy. It just feels like a way to grind extra money out of people who already bought these games initially. It's a way to resell the same exact game to the same exact audience. In a weird way, it's genius. If this works out, then more power to Sony for being able to find a way to sell the same game again to a collector that will put this on their shelf. They, like I said, they look amazing. The artwork is fantastic. It's beautiful. It's everything you'd ever want out of these games that you're in love with. But it's not why I collect games. I collect games for the memories they give me when I buy it, when I hold it in my hand and put it in and play it. All those hours I spend with it. Last of Us, God of War, Spider-Man, Horizon Zero Dawn. I've spent so many hours and days and months playing those games, and they will forever be a part of my memory, and I already own them physically in my library already. So for me personally, these are not something I'd be interested in, but I do see an audience for this. The rise of the collectors. I mean, you see limited run games selling stuff. You see a bunch of other limited run companies doing these things, and people are buying them. And I know Radical Reggie made a video about talking about you buy a game, but you don't even play it because you don't have time for it. This is like you're buying a game that you don't even intend to open. You are literally buying a game to put it on your shelf. There is going to be a very small percentage of people who buy these that actually open them up. And that's why I kind of have, I don't want to say an issue with it, because people are free to spend their money how they want to, but I just feel like it's a little bit sneaky. It's a little bit slimy. It's a business tactic. It's a marketing tactic to be able to resell the same thing and tell people, hey, if you don't buy these now, then you'll miss out. The fear of missing out is real with video games today, and this especially is going to present that to a lot of collectors out there. In fact, just looking at these, they don't talk about how limited the run will be on them, but just being in the industry for a while, you know that these aren't going to be around forever. So you would be interested to buy these if you were a collector and wanted to have something that held its value over time, assuming that these don't have a gigantic print run, which is a big deal. It would be nice to know how many of these they're making, but they're not telling people that. They are selling them for, let's see, a variety of prices, which is interesting. Why would Horizon Zero Dawn be €16 and Spider-Man be 30, God of War be 30, Shadow of Colossus be 30? All the rest of these are 30, except for Ratchet and Clank, PlayStation Hits. Okay, so it's PlayStation Hits version. So are they just slipcovers over the original game case? Are they literally just repackaging these games that did not sell out, that they've created and manufactured and don't know what to do with them? So they're just sending them back to the manufacturer, opening the shrink, not even opening the shrink wrap, just putting a slipcase on it and then sending it back to sell it? Is that what's happening right now? They're just literally just selling a slipcase over the cover to try to get rid of the stock. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what comes to mind when I look at this, which would explain a lot. And, you know, I don't like that. I'll be honest with you. I think that's very slimy, like I said earlier. I think the artwork is spectacular, and people are more than welcome to buy these things if they want to. But at what point are we going to start to question our buying habits with video games in rebuying the same game again and again, literally just to put it on our shelf for no other reason, just to say, hey guys, I have the entire, in this case, 10-game PlayStation-only collection of games with all those fantastic slipcovers. And oh, by the way, there's probably going to be more coming down the road if that website is to be believed when they show Days Gone and Ghost of Tsushima and Last of Us Part 2. And who knows how many other PlayStation-only games will be added into this slipcover-only thing. I don't know. It's happening, though, and currently only available through Game in Europe. But I feel like it's a fascinating topic to discuss because it goes into the heart of collectors and what is acceptable as a collector. I know there are some collectors out there that if there's anything for any game, I know Church from the Game Grinder, if there's anything from Shantae that comes out, he will collect it. And Cool, that's awesome. That's his passion, and I definitely don't argue with that. I'm sure there are people, probably far less, that if anything came out for Days Gone, they'd buy it. Or anything God of War related, they buy it, they have an entire collection. And that's awesome. I feel like it's really cool. I know Tom and Lacey over at Do You Nerd love to have these things to show their connection to the game, to the world itself, to feel more a part of it. And that's something that collectors do as well, is they buy things to feel more a part of the world, to live in this fictional place, to feel a part of it. I get that. Hell, I've done that myself too. So I'm not knocking people. I'm just wondering, at what point do we start asking some questions saying, when has it gone too far, where companies are literally marketing collectors' items, which they've obviously been doing for a while, just to sell to collectors? When are we going to start to call it out and say, what even is a collector in the first place? Why do you collect? Get to the bottom of this, because as of right now, I'm starting to question everything about the video game industry at large when it comes to sales tactics. Because I like to collect games for the love of it, for the memories they've filled my heart with and every experience I've had. But when I go to see a store selling something literally just to sell an item again to someone who owns it already, I don't know. That's where I start to draw the line. I'd be very interested to hear what you guys have to say about this only on PlayStation collection of games being sold at Game in Europe right now. If it's something that you're interested in, if you think it's just a ridiculously slimy marketing ploy, or if you're somewhere in between. And obviously, yes, like I said, people are more than welcome to spend their money how they want to. But you gotta start to worry about these companies taking advantage of your wallet, and where do you draw the line? I'm gonna leave the video right there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing.